I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated. We've all served with women and they're great. It just, our institutions don't have to incentivize that in places where traditionally, not traditionally, over human history, men in those positions are more capable.
But overall, you agree what he's saying, though?
I agree 100%. First of all, let's just be honest, okay? Because what's been happening over the last, actually more, but really over the last 4 years, it's kicked up. Men and women are not the same. We're not the same. We're not the same. I can do things that you can't do. You can do things that I can't do. There's no problem with that. We understand that with animals. Why don't we understand that with humans?
I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated. We've all served with women and they're great. It just, our institutions don't have to incentivize that in places where traditionally, not traditionally, over human history, men in those positions are more capable. I'm straight up.
All right. Hold on. We got one more. Because CNN heard that and they was like, wait a minute. He really said that. And then he tried to take it away. So here's them trying to get their little score in. You know what I mean? They try to up the score whenever they can.
Listen to what he said about a month ago and then last night.
I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated.
I also want an opportunity here to clarify comments that have been misconstrued that I somehow don't support women in the military. Some of our greatest warriors, our best warriors out there are women who serve, raise their right hand to defend this country and love our nation, want to defend that flag.
Now, I'm going to play for y'all what he said today after leaving Japan. This video right here is going viral.
Everybody, Pete Hegseth here. We're about to land in Washington, D.C. on our way back from Japan, where we've been meeting with the troops, talking to allies and partners, reestablishing deterrence in the Indo-Pacific. It's Sunday, but of course we're still working. I want to show you one thing. It's a new memorandum that's coming out today on combat arms standards. You see, for far too long, we allowed standards to slip and different standards for men and women in combat arms MOSs and jobs. That's not acceptable. We need to have the same standard, male or female, in our combat roles to ensure our men and women who are under our leaders or in those formations have the best possible leaders and the highest possible standards that are not based at all on your sex, if you're a man or a woman. So we're signing this, I'm signing this memorandum today. The services will review, and soon we will have nothing but the highest and equal standards for men and women in combat.
Now, y'all already know that a lot of people don't want Pete Hegseth to really shine because they don't believe that he was qualified for the job. The people on the left don't anyway. Individuals on the right do. But I want y'all to see what some of them have been writing. So the title of this post was, "For far too long, we have allowed standards to slip. We've had different standards for men and women serving in combat, arms, MOSs, and jobs. That's not acceptable, and it changes right now." So obviously we have some people saying, right here, Lance Lachlan says, resign. Why did you give your brother a job that looks like a DEI box check? And why was your wife present during a briefing involving sensitive intelligence? Does she have security clearance? Katie says, I don't think you're in any position to talk about slipping standards. Boston Smalls says, bro, you are the definition of a slip in standards. Eroyer King says, you being the Secretary of Defense is a perfect example of allowing standards to slip. Fix it by resigning. And these joints go on and on. So far, so what you think, right? What you think? What you think about this so far, Mika?
First of all, okay, let's talk about the slipping standard. Now, when we talk about slipping standards, let's talk about the person that was in charge while Biden was in office. Okay. He looked like the guy from MASH. You remember MASH? I know you do, right? And you
Yes,
remember the guy kept trying to get out the military?
yes.
Yeah, that's what the gentleman, the gentlewoman, I don't know, was trying to look like during the Biden administration. That's a slipping standard. I've never seen it. And then the second thing is, if we're going to talk about why Pete Hegseth's wife was in a briefing, I mean, Joe Biden's wife did a whole cabinet meeting.
She did. Dr. Jill did. She most certainly did. And she sat at the head of the table, like the boss.
I mean, little glasses down here, just like, looking. I'm just like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? And we all know Hillary Clinton was involved in everything her husband did. Bill Clinton told it in his book. She told it in hers. I don't like these people, but I read about them, right? I go get their books. I got both of Barack Obama's books. So
I
I,
got
I
them
know
both.
exactly what they're doing. Yeah, they do this all the time. So what are people talking about?
We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have. Trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing. We have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace. But overall, you agree with what he's saying, though?
I agree 100%. First of all, let's just be honest, okay? Because what's been happening over the last actually more, but really over the last 4 years, it's kicked up. Men and women are not the same. We're not the same. We're not the same. I can do things that you can't do. You can do things that I can't do. There's no problem with that. We understand that with animals. Why don't we understand that with humans? We're
I
not the
agree.
same. And I remember when he said that on the podcast, I did a video on it and I went back to, I think it was ABC. ABC did a whole deep dive into it, and they went to go actually look at women who were trying out for infantry. Only like 3 women passed.
What?
Yeah.
For
And they
real?
barely passed. So you got 3 women that barely passed. All right. Because it's hard. Men fail all the time. So if men fail, why do we think women are special? And a lot of the times they'll say, okay, well, men have to do 100 push-ups and you have to do, 50. But you can't pull me out when I need your help. It's hard for a man to pick up another 200 and something pound man.
Facts. A
I'm
dead
definitely
weight.
not I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna leave you there because I can't carry you. I'm gonna leave you there. So it's best for me not to get in it. I'm just saying, if I got to pull you out of the fire, you're gonna be. If I get you out, you're gonna be like, why am I so banged up? Because I had to drag you because I can't carry you, and it is what it is. So why are we arguing nuances?
Now, should we talk about we're talking about the rule, we're not talking about exceptions, because you have Tulsi Gabbard who looked like she would whoop somebody's ass toe to toe, and I'm talking
She's
about
probably one
man.
of the 3.
Yeah, she's one of the 3 that passed.
Yeah. It's hard. And then don't get into special forces and things like that. Like it's hard for men to pass the Navy SEALs. Like it's hard. And
Yeah.
on top of that, why would women want to do it anyway? Women say they do, but when they get those jobs, just like with the police department, when they get those jobs, what do? They go to the police department. I want to push paper. Then why did you come here? They don't want to be out in the street. They want to work at the chief's office. It's just like,
I mean, I thought that they went out there and they like I'd be seeing some strong police women, and I'd be seeing some feminine ones too. They got fat back pockets. Um,
And then ask them when the gunfights happen, what they do. Look at the stats.
I don't know a whole lot about them. I will say this though. If I am in combat, I would much rather have somebody behind me, someone who have my six, or someone standing left or right of me, who can defend themselves and can defend me. Like I don't want to have to rescue anybody. I don't care if it's a man or a woman, but if I have to, I mean, I want you to be able to hold your own until I get there. Same thing for me. I'm certain that if you got me out there defending you, you would expect for me to be able to hold my own until more people came. You know what I mean? I think it's a weak link, and any weak link can make us, it could be the one of us
I
getting
think
killed.
women can definitely be in the military. I think they can serve great purpose. They have all types of other things, drone pilots, all this other type of stuff. But to be out on missions and things like that, where you have to possibly fight other men, please, please, like no.
How about the fact, and somebody actually mentioned this, how about the fact that there aren't really a whole lot as many, not nearly as many real men who are actually ready for combat roles. Men are sensitive as hell. Men also want to be the opposite sex. Men are extremely entitled nowadays, feel like they can, if they get stressed out and they're dealing with something, then they don't have to listen to whoever's yelling in their faces because they're depressed or they're anxious and they want medication, or they're just tapped into their feminine side. Men today are not men yesterday. So sometimes we might need women to take over them roles. How do you feel about that?
No, no. The weakest man is still stronger than the strongest woman. Okay, and you can prove that with Serena Williams. Serena Williams practices with like the when she was like at the top of her game, she
She
was
had to practice
practicing
with
with
men,
like a guy that was in like hundredth and something among men.
and he was still whooping her ass.
He was still mopping the floor with her. And then remember when they tried that whole match competition of her and her sister against the best men? Serena even said it because a lot of people kept saying it, and she was like, "Look, guys, those men, they're fast because their biology is built that way. It's okay. She's the best woman
Woman
in
in the
tennis,
world.
and that's
Yeah.
fine. That's
Yeah, leave
absolutely
it
fine. There's
there.
nothing wrong with that. She's a great athlete. What's wrong with that? Why can't that be? Oh, now you have to be greater than men. No, the men are going to mop the floor with her, and it just is what it is.
I'm with P. Hegseth in this. I don't think the standards should be different physically. Physical standards should not be different at all. I mean, mental standards aren't different. Everybody got to take the same test.
Mhm.
They're not grading anybody on a curve because they're a man or woman. So when it comes to the physical standards, this would be the exact same thing. Like we're all here to make sure that we can move this train forward. You know what I mean? Continue to be the strongest military in the world.
Yeah, but you gotta realize that the liberals want to give that sense of, and this is the thing. I honestly don't think diversity in everything works. Diversity in some things do, and diversity in some things don't.
Diversity is gay.
I don't think it
Diversity.
should be forced.
I mean,
Meaning some things I think men and women can do, right? Because it's not requiring specifics from either group.
I understand. I get it. I mean, but I thought that the whole point was usually in this department or in this field, certain people aren't looked at. So we're going to try to make sure that certain people can get into this field.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I don't foresee women being on the oil rigs. I don't foresee it.
Me neither.
Why
Me
would you
neither.
want to? It's
Because
dirty work. Most women don't like being that dirty. All right. It's you're out there, for months at a time. Like a lot of women don't want to do any of that.
What about bull daggers?
Even they don't want to do any of that. Like even the ones that pretend to be like masculine, the femininity kick in real quick when they have to realize that they have to be the man. Actually, it was a good TikTok movement, right? Online, and the lesbian women were the ones that are the men. They were like, we now see what men go through, having the
Oh
past,
yeah.
everything, women being ungrateful, all this stuff.
Now it was the one that I really enjoyed. I tried to get my wife to do it. She wouldn't do it because she didn't want to be embarrassed. But the one where where a woman got like in like a plank position and she acted like she was stroking for a long time, and they was just looking at the clock. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going, and they couldn't get
Oh
past a
yeah,
minute.
and she got tired. Yeah, exactly all the way down to the biology. Like you think things are easy until you can do it. I give men this. A lot of men will tell you that they don't want to do the things that women have to do. Right? Like I was watching a comedian. I think it was Martin, and he was like, "Look, if men had to have babies, it'd be 1 month over here."
That's it. We not having them.
No, like it's a lot,
No,
but men respect that factor.
absolutely.
And they're not like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, if we were doing it, this, no, they're like, no, yeah, it looks painful. I don't want no parts of that.